Nakitlong ka Ri Khasi. Ngiwan lam shapi ko sngur bakhuit patpasngem. Ka beats aqua. Shpausnem dang yai pinja sliang.
Unang yalam kalyang Mrssa u Dr. Mukul sangma ulakan tha jor ya kani ka sarkar MDA kabla penjengut bat pinpulom ya ka an shongwai ne ka Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act MRSSA Act arjar khan rio. Habakre menta ka sngi u Dr. Mukul ulong ba ka sarkar jong minchwa klawanra ke MRSSA kum ka jingbujli kat bampat joy ka ILP kum bala dawa ki pat ba ka jylla hindre ka basngau kya jor ka long ba ka sarkar MDA kabayalam ke NPP Mrssa nuwan Khubor Synshar jylla jaka ban Pyntreikam ya kaan MRSSA ka Pynkylla ban Khlem Pyntreikam ulakan tha ba kani ka de ka jingbam don ka jingkat khle jong kani ka sarkar MDA kabla pinthut ya ka por pan pinyap ya kaan u Dr. Mukul ulakamba jinjisha ke MRSSA ka de kaan ka babahatam ri bantelakam ni ka jingwan buhay Shillong gi breu na bar kat mampat yo ya ka ILP.
See, let me put it in my own way. See, politicians, when they don't mean what they say, then that is what you see. You know? So, different political leaders, different leaders who have the privilege of running the government have different way of doing things. Some try to do things, engage in some kind of initiative, embark upon some kind of policy decision for consuming time and allowing the time to continue to be in power. You see? Now, tell me one thing. Why was the Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act enacted? What is the background? And after this act was enacted unanimously in the House, where every political party which still have a circulation in the state politics were involved. But immediately after, the incumbent government formed their government in 2018, they immediately tried to discuss on the possible amendment of this MRSS Act without even starting to implement. We laid out certain foundations to implement this particular mandate of the Act. If you recall, there were joint inspection of the areas where we had to establish entry-exit points. Now, entry-exit points, in as far as the Act is concerned, were all referred to as facilitation center, and to be taken care of in matters of dealing with the mandate of the law in as far as the mandate for that facilitation center is concerned. This responsibility was vested upon tourism department. Why? There are reasons. These whole things were discussed exhaustively at the time of formatting the whole proposed bill. We have co-authored this act. It is not that Dr. Mukul alone has authored this. It was authored by the government in consultation after exhaustive due diligence, not the shortcut way or overnight thinking process, some bureaucrat sitting and then drafting the act. No, it wasn't. It was co-authored by government with our stakeholders. And why? Why? Because today you look at what is happening in USA. In the name of immigration, what is happening? People are getting killed. You have seen that ICE member one force of ICE in America, immigration, and your customs enforcement member of that organization ended up firing a woman. Why? In spite of having stringent immigration laws, you try for a visa for USA, it will be so tough. And for a lady, unmarried lady, you will never get a visa also. That's the truth. But in spite of having such a stringent immigration law, USA, UK, go and see what has happened. Precisely because of these, our people, our stakeholders in the form of civil society organizations are constantly reminding the policymakers, yes, we should have a mechanism. In absence of mechanism, what was visible? ILP. ILP was visible because ILP is in force, is being implemented in respect of Nagaland. Now, in respect of your Manipur also, for Arunachal and Nagaland, it was there from before then. Suddenly, after the CA, whatever the fallout of protests against CA, then Manipur was given. But Meghalaya. But why is the demand for ILP? Precisely because of the challenges associated with uncontrolled immigration, which is definitely a matter of concern. I have given a reference of USA and UK and all the European countries. Why? Because in spite of stringent law of regulating at the entry and exit, meaning any citizen entering with a visa, what happens when the so-called immigrants with valid visas don't go back? Don't go back. This is the reason why you have so many illegal immigrants. Many of them have entered legally but overstayed and they have become illegal immigrants. That's how the law operates. But the fact is that after entering, how will you regulate their stay? That's why MRSSA is designed in such a way that in spite of having such a long porous international border with Bangladesh, and in spite of having such a long border with our neighboring state Assam, which can be the sources of entry of illegal immigrants, which is a fact, can be taken care of in a manner which fulfills our intent of protecting our people in terms of maintaining the demography of our tribes, our Khasi Jaintia tribes, and to ensure that demographically we are not outnumbered by people. That is the reason. Now, when this law, ILP is not a state subject. So I couldn't have promised to implement ILP, unlike the present Chief Minister, unlike the incumbent Chief Minister, because I know I cannot promise on behalf of Government of India and I cannot take the Union government for granted. And I knew that I did my homework. I tried to know whether they will agree or not. When I knew that they will not agree, then I said, okay, then let us come with some other alternative. The alternative which is given to you as per the mandate of the Constitution in as far as the legislative jurisdiction of the state legislature is concerned. So we work on this available limited space. The limited space available in as far as the legislative jurisdiction to the state legislature is concerned within our state, but we went as far as possible. So playing at the edge, I always used to believe playing at the edge is always good, because that is where then nobody can actually supersede you. So we played up to the level of which I can say tightrope walking, but we did do this with the involvement of all stakeholders, and we came up with this wonderful law. I say this wonderful law. In fact, yes, just a few days back, one person who is analyzing about the issues of concerns pertaining to immigration in Northeast was talking to me, and he was referring to this MRSSA. And MRSSA is so designed that once you implement, you will know, okay, where you need to further reinforce and add certain provisions. But implement first. Today, what has happened to those identified areas which were supposed to be identified for entry-exit point? In other words, as per the law, the facilitation center. The government has lied to the people that it is because the court has said that in absence of proper guidelines, these facilitation centers should not operate. In absence of guidelines, whose job it is to give the guidelines? Whose job it is to prepare the guidelines? How the facilitation centers shall operate has to be governed by some guidelines. They didn't do their job. They cheated the people. That's why the MRSSA couldn't be implemented. Then subsequently, somebody took this MRSSA for judicial scrutiny. But these MRSSA, Meghalaya Resident Safety and Security Act 2016, have withstood the judicial scrutiny. But the proposed amendment went beyond the legislative jurisdiction of the state. That's why MH has returned. That means you go beyond your job, beyond the mandate of the Constitution. Don't you know that when you go beyond the mandate of the Constitution, your action will become constitutional infractions. It is.
We get bored and hungry, can't put our minds correct. Need something quick and easy, got no time to wait. Something delicious, something different from the rest. It's so delicious, delicious. Wanna get something yummy, just get some yummy. Wanna get something yummy, just get some yummy. Wanna get something yummy, just get some yummy. Wanna get something yummy, just get some yummy.
Yummy noodles, the perfect snack partner.